It's coming, it's almost done. It's ready, and I want something good, something sweet, something cool. It's a treat. Amelia love, Amelia love, Amelia love. It's Amelia love for your soul.
Hi, I'm your host Joshua Kennedy of Amelia's Kitchen. I'm just giving you guys a heads up for this heavyweight meatloaf episode. The ingredients that you had seen right before this, those are the correct ingredients. I have been cooking and cooking and cooking, filming several webisodes in one day, like 3 in one day, 2 in one day, things like that. And with all these measurements and vegetables and dishes and everything else, I just got confused, so I said this was that and it wasn't that and it was really this. So now you know what that is this and this is that and whatever. So you kind of get it. So basically, just go by the instructions at the very beginning with the ingredients and you will be good to go. Thank you for joining us at Amelia's Kitchen and hope to see you again soon. Welcome to the 4th webisode of Amelia's Kitchen. I am your host, Joshua Kennedy, and today we are going to make heavyweight meatloaf. I'm calling it my heavyweight meatloaf because you need 4 pounds of ground beef to make this thing, so definitely it's going to be a heavy piece of meat. What I can tell you is that we have a lot of ingredients here to go into this meatloaf. Make sure that your hands are washed and ready to go. You might even want to bring back up into the kitchen because we're going in on this one all the way. So what I like to do is show you the ingredients that we have here. We have the 3 eggs, we have a ½ cup of barbecue sauce, we have a 1/4 cup of onions, 3 slices of crumbled bread, and make sure, of course, they're toasted, 3 slices of toasted crumbled bread. And then also we have a 1/3 cup of green peppers. We have a 1/4 cup of Jazz It Up for beef. With this particular product, once again, I don't endorse products that often when I'm not being paid to do so. However, this is one of those rare occasions that this is a really good product that adds a really good flavor to the meatloaf. Really, really good flavor to the meatloaf. So I have a 1/4 cup of this that I'm going to use. Also, for the meatloaf topping, what we have is we have the ketchup here, which is 1 cup of ketchup. We have a ½ cup of brown sugar. I use brown sugar in a lot of things that I cook sometimes because it always adds a very nice flavor to whatever you put it in. For this, it adds a really good flavor to the ketchup, and what brings out the flavor even more is the lemon extract, which will add a teaspoon of lemon extract to this to bring out the flavor even more for the topping of the meatloaf. So we're going to put all of this together right now and start preparing it. I'm going to bring this over here, and what we can do is we can start with pouring the barbecue sauce over that. Just pouring the barbecue sauce on this 4 pounds of meat. So if you're a vegetarian, you probably wouldn't want to be watching this because it just gets uglier. Let's see here. Now that we have that done, we want to sprinkle some of the onions on here, just a little bit. Don't use all of your onions at the beginning just yet. Just sprinkle a little bit, maybe do half, because what we're doing now is we have to go in. Go ahead and mix it up. Don't be afraid of the meat. Some people get upset, get afraid. They don't want to get their hands messy, or the meat's really cold like this is here. But you can't be afraid of the meat. You have to go in and get it seasoned. And speaking of seasonings, and try to spread it out a little bit in the bowl. That way, because you want to cover as much as possible. You see how I'm spreading this out? Pushing it in the bowl. because the more it's spread out, the more meat you can cover with your seasonings. So now, what we're going to do is take our Jazz It Up and just sprinkle it out there a little bit, in here a little bit. There we go. Then take it, we're going to fold it in, and then just squeeze. Get it in there. And anytime you're doing a meatloaf, always make sure that you're doing a meatloaf in a large size bowl. When you're putting it all together, it makes things a lot easier instead of trying to do it in a small bowl. Alright. Now that we're doing this again, I'm spreading it out. And this time I want to put some green peppers in here. I'm going to get some of the green peppers in here. Actually, you know, we're going to do all the green peppers in here. And do that. And then we're going to take the rest of the onions. And we're going to put the rest of the onions in there. Alright, that's a done deal. I'm going to take it. We're going to fold it yet again. And you know what? I can smell the aroma of these vegetables already in the meatloaf. So if it smells this good now, imagine how good it's going to smell when you cook it. Right? And now that we're spreading it out again, we're going to take the rest of our Jazz It Up beef seasoning and put it in the meatloaf. We definitely have it jazzed up. And I'm going to take some of this dried up toast, put that in there too. Fold it in, and then squeeze. That's what we're doing. Now at this point, you also want to get your oven on. Don't forget to set your oven on 375. Is what you want to do. And really, you can set it at the very beginning to have it out the way. Is what you have the option to do. Ready? Now, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to spread it out again. Alright. Now that we have it spread out again, this time we're taking the eggs. Now, this recipe can be 2 large eggs or 3 medium eggs, is what this can be. I didn't have any large ones, so I did 3 medium. Now, after you drop the eggs in there, you can take the rest of the crumbled up bread, toasted bread, and put that in there too. And you do the same thing. You take it, fold it, and squeeze it. Squeeze it. Get it all in there. And I see I have just a little bit of barbecue sauce left in here. Trying to get every little bit out. I want all the flavor in this meatloaf. with that, we have that done now. What we're going to do is bring over our baking dish. And what you use to bake your meatloaf is up to you. Just make sure it's something that can hold 4 pounds of meat. That's what it boils down to. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just pressing down on it. Now, keep in mind, as we know, when meatloaf cooks, grease comes out. And because this is so big in here, what I will do, more than likely, probably about 20 minutes into it cooking, is add some type of cookie sheet or something right under it to make sure that if any grease drips out, it drips onto the sheet and not onto the bottom of the stove. Just FYI. Right, I press that. And we're good to go on this. Now we're going to let this cook for 1 hour. 15 minutes before, or actually scratch that, forgive me, it would be a total of an hour and 15 minutes. So after the hour, what you'll do is you will mix the ketchup and the brown sugar and the teaspoon of lemon extract together and mix it and create your sauce. You'll put the sauce on top and let it cook for 15 minutes, and then after that you will be completely done. But right now we're just going to go ahead and get it into the stove real quick. Let's see here. Okay. Right. Our meatloaf's in the stove and it's going to cook for an hour. So that is a done deal now. When we come back, we'll check on the meatloaf. We will mix up our sauce for it. We'll add that, take another quick break, come back, and then we'll see the final result of the meatloaf with the sauce cooked.